Welcome back. Today is Friday, the 9th of June, 2023. It's here. It's the final day of tank assembly sealing week. Unfortunately, we're not even nearly done. There's several days left to go, so can't quit today. Yesterday, we finished up all of the interior ribs for the left fuel tank. Today, we're gonna finish out the last 3 on the right fuel tank, and all of the interior ribs will be done. This feels like the home stretch to me, even though there are still several days of work left, because I think that the interior ribs are probably the most difficult part of the fuel tank build. There's not a lot of space. It's difficult to get the ribs in there, theoretically. It hasn't been that bad. Getting all the holes lined up, bucking rivets on a really sloppy, messy surface, all of that stuff. So we're almost done with it. 3 ribs probably take me about 3-4 hours, let's say. We'll do 2 in a separate session. We'll do the last one and we'll be done with it. And then we'll be moving on to the end ribs, which will probably take more than a day because there's some system stuff that has to be done with that, like fuel senders and vent line and whatnot. Anyways, that's enough of the intro. Let's just start building fuel tanks that hopefully don't leak.
So it ended up being 3.5 hours with some decent amount of cleanup at the end, and I'm happy that it wasn't any longer than that. It's 97 degrees today, and I was feeling it. So I did something different than I had done in the previous 2 days, and that is, and I don't know why this didn't occur to me before. Obviously, I'm going to try to do 2 ribs at once. Before, what I had done was get one rib all slopped up, cleat in place, run the sealant inside, put it in the fridge, come back out, finish riveting that one, go in, get the sealant, come back out. There's no reason why, and I don't know why this didn't occur to me before, but there's really no reason why I can't get 2 ribs slopped up, cleat into place, then start riveting. There's nothing at all wrong. In fact, it's probably really good that that second rib is just sitting there, cleat in place. The cleats are holding some pre-tension, and that sealant is beginning the process of bonding while I get to work doing. It was just silly. I don't know why that hadn't occurred to me before. So the first 2 ribs were all in one session. I never went to go put the sealant back in the fridge, and even on a 97-degree day, I had plenty of time to get these 2 done, and done well. So yeah. Anyways, you live and you learn, hopefully. So on my next airplane, I'll know, because today I am done with all of the interior ribs, I'm happy to say. I did split into 2 sessions. Here you see me going through and scooping out all the little dollops of squeeze out from the dimples with the little scraps of paper, and then loading up all of the rivets. And true to my word, I will start with riveting on the bottom side of the fuel tank skin, so that if I do make any errors, I will say this: I haven't really bucked any flush rivets since I finished up the empennage kit, which was 6 or 8 weeks ago. It was a while ago. And definitely as I've moved through these ribs, it's gotten better and better and easier and easier. And so this riveting became pretty routine and simple. Even the leading edge ribs, although they are a long reach and it's really awkward, and you have to be careful to make sure that the rivet gun and the bucking bar are both, perpendicular to the skin at that particular angle, it still wasn't that difficult. Even these just installed much more cleanly than the ones that I had done previously. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm definitely hating the proseal less now at this point. Not that I want to do any more of it than I have to, but it turned out pretty well. So here I'm just shaping the fillets and moving on. And once that's done, I'll go ahead and encapsulate all of the rivet heads, and that's what I wanted to show you. So coming up here in just a few seconds, we'll do a little close-up of what I was trying to explain in the previous video about pulling straight up off of the rivet head. Anyways, here comes a close-up. You'll see what I mean.
I'm going to try and demonstrate what I was describing in my previous video about a way to encapsulate these where you get a nice peak. Here's a pretty exposed rivet head. So I press the tubing down over the top of it, give it a little bit of a wiggle, and then I just pull straight up on it. And it completely encapsulates it. Sometimes when you come in and you try to twist it as it comes off, it can end up really thin on one side. So I found that just going down and pulling straight up creates a nice little Hershey's Kiss, wizard hat, whatever you want to call it.
So now we're on to the third rib of the day and the final rib of all 10 interior ribs. So that would be, in the end, I want to say 340 rivets set for all of them, and nearly the end of bucked rivets for the fuel tank assembly. There might be just a couple of AN 470 universal head rivets for doubler plates on the end ribs, but nothing that difficult to do. So this was actually just kind of nice to work on a single rib. Again, so all the way through all 10, man, those ribs went in pretty stinking easily. Very happy with that. And in fact, that 10th one might have been the easiest one of all to get those holes lined up. If you think about it, the very leading edge hole on both the top and the bottom flange are on a separate tab all their own. That flange is not connected in line with the rest of the flange. So even if all the rest of the holes are in line, there's a good chance that when you're seating that in the nose, that one is moved out of the way. And so when you're getting the holes lined up and getting ready to load up the rivets, you have to kind of go in and find that one all by itself. And this one was almost completely dead on. So couldn't be happier with how that went. It was easier than I expected. And then just in terms of, I don't know, practice makes perfect. It got easier as time went on. In terms of doing those interior ribs, the really only exception to that is just the heat. That was the only thing that really at this point made it rough, is just working in that heat. But it's done cleaning. Let's see. Yep, already did the filleting, cleaning up or encapsulating the rivet heads. And then I think since I have some sealant left, I go down and just add a little more sealant in a couple of places where I thought the fillets were a little bit thin. I think mostly on the back side of the ribs where there's more of a radius where it meets the skin. That being said, these things are sealed. You know, the seal itself is only just a few thousandths thick under there. The squeeze out and the fillet just kind of makes you feel good about everything. So cleaning everything up, it's still a little swirly, but yeah, it's basically ready to go. So we'll take a quick look at what it looks like here from the front, and the riveting I think looks pretty good with maybe one small blemish. And then from the back, not spotless, but clean enough.